I have had a very drastic career change. Starting off as an engineer, researching for NASA, working for Northrop Grumman, and then becoming a social entrepreneur and art dealer. But I don't do problem sets every day or design small satellites anymore, but I still think that I'm an engineer because I use the scientific method every day. So I identify some type of problem. That could be in the art world or with their schools in South Africa, but I figure out a problem, hypothesize about a solution with my team, which I think is such a really, really big part of social entrepreneurship, is having a really strong team and collaborating as frequently as you can. But we hypothesize about solutions, test them out until we find something that sticks and works, and then keep on using it and modify it as we need to. I think that's a scientific method in practicing engineering every day. It just happens to be in townships in South Africa and sometimes studios in downtown LA, but it's still testing a solution and finding a solution together. I became excited about contemporary African art from my frequent trips to the continent, and I just started going to some of the biennales and art fairs and meeting and building relationships with curators and gallerists and artists that were a part of this world of contemporary African art. And more of the rest of the world started to recognize how important and interesting contemporary African art was. And there was an opportunity for me to share this art that I had become so familiar with people in Europe and the United States and different parts of the world, a lot of collectors and gallerists. I think that Los Angeles is being taken a lot more seriously in the global art world and the global art scene. So we have had fantastic contemporary artists, street artists, graffiti artists for decades and decades, but again, more people are starting to notice that. It's a result of gentrification, a lot of the great galleries that are opening and having a stronger presence in Los Angeles, and even the art fairs that are starting to have stops and serious exhibitions in Los Angeles. So because of that, I don't think that the art scene is necessarily brand new. It's just that the rest of the world is paying attention to the art scene in LA. This is a really great time for art, honestly, just because this arts district is booming. There are different buildings and artists that are popping up and having these dialogues with each other every single day. So people are more excited about contemporary art and contemporary African art. And it's a really nice way, and it's personal for me, to kind of reimagine what the narrative of Africa is. And I just happen to use art and education, which are the two things that I'm passionate about. So I think that anytime somebody says they want to change the world somehow, or change some part of their world, it's important to figure out what you're excited about, because, and we were talking about this earlier, when you're excited about something, you get the greatest return on your investment when you're putting all of this energy into making a big change. And it's hard to make change. I mean, you can wear yourself out, but when you find the pieces that really keep you going and make you tick, that's when it's easier for you to make these types of changes. And I've just always been excited about education and art, so it makes my work very personal and very fulfilling. And I think it's a very clear intersection, because those are two ways that you can reimagine a narrative and start a paradigm shift. What's around you visually and how it stimulates you, and how we educate young people. So I just happen to use both of those two methods to reimagine and change conversations.